The Seven Wonders, Stories About Witches, is an anthology released by Mirari Press, which is an independent publisher in Cape Town, doing amazing work in speculative fiction. And this is a new series where I read an anthology, discuss each story, and then discuss at the end if there are any interlocking themes. So let's get into it, shall we? Hello, hi, welcome to a new video. I'm Jacques, this is Mr. Pink Ink, and we are reading an anthology. The Seven Wonders by various artists, various authors, stories about witches. This is the first in a new series where I'm going to be reading an anthology. An anthology is a book of short stories generally with a similar theme throughout. So yeah, now today is Saturday. It is the 29th of November. Yes, and it's just about 12 midday. I'm running a readathon on Instagram this weekend. It's a mini thing. I do it every last weekend of the month since August, where we just read whatever we can. We do whatever we can we just find some time to grab a page or two is all that we need to do. So we go from 8 a.m. on a Saturday to 8 p.m. on Sunday. We break between 8 p.m. on Saturday and 8 a.m. on Sunday, so you know, you just read between the two. So it's like a 36-hour really. And you don't really need to be there. You just need to read 1 or 2 pages and that's it, and that's a win, because there's always time to read. So I'm starting off the readathon with this book. I intend very much to finish this and see what else there is to read, but I'm also doing this video. Okay, so now let's get into it. Guys, the Mad Witch. Okay, so I've just finished reading the first story, and what an opening story it is. It is amazing. I was getting goosebumps. I'm not gonna lie, I was getting goosebumps. And I was just feeling all the things for the character of Mika. She was so Mad Witch. Okay. It's local, so if you're not familiar with the South African landscape, then please go Google it. Go check your geography. We are set in the Karoo, which is a big desert. Okay, I don't know exactly where because it's up there on the map. And then by a town called Graafrenet. We don't hear much. I don't read many books that have mentioned Graafrenet. There probably are others, but I haven't read them. So local is very influenced in there. So we don't really see the towns as much as stuff. It's more the desert location. Okay. So, and also if you're not from South Africa, the pronunciation is Afrikaans. So the name's Afrikaans, and the bar, Stoutgat or something, is Afrikaans. So pannenkoek is Afrikaans for pancake. So again, be aware of the pronunciation for that. Okay, so the Mad Witch. We start off the story where with a 12-year-old Mika, okay? And she is an only child. She grows up lonely, and she really isn't very popular at school. So she plays with mud. She makes mud figurines and so on and so forth. But she can actually speak them to life. Okay, so they become friends, and of course, eventually, life goes on, and her mother does the usual things, but her mother disappears, and nobody knows why or where she went to. So Mika now is alone again, and mysteriously, an Aunt Sarah comes and stays there with her and finds with her, and now raises Mika as a pseudo mother, as a whatever surrogate. In the meantime, Mika is growing. She's learning things about herself, about the kinds of things she likes, the kind of things that she can do. And it's very interesting, actually. Although the poor girl, an episode of Mean Girls is what this girl has been through. So we can see how she feels, and we can connect with her, because I don't know, I just feel that, yes, I know where you're coming from. It's like, because we all have those thoughts. So, it doesn't mean that we all act on them. So that's really good. And so we follow her from age 12 to age 16. And she does a few things. Look, I'm trying to keep this as spoiler free as possible. And she does a few things which bring which she casts a spell which has some consequences, and this then brings her to the attention of the High Coven. Okay, so they come to fetch her and blah blah blah, and then the story unravels. It's actually such a twist that you would never see it coming, because I certainly didn't, and it was mind-blowing. This was really good. The writing was almost mesmerizing in a way. The author, Shaman R. Madewell, has a way of invoking those, I don't know, call it emotion, call it whatever, call the connectivity, but I mean, I was getting goosebumps, and I was feeling so for the girl, as I would be. I would feel for her. And in the meantime, there's the mystery about, her mother that disappeared, just out of nowhere, out of the blue, no reason, no rhyme. So it's really, really good. What a fantastic opening story. And I really can't wait to get to it. That was 20% of this book. I think there are about 7 stories. This one was incredible. Okay. As for the themes, I think this is a bit of a coming of age story. It's also about found family. Okay, so these are tropes. Sure. I think it is a bit of a coming of age story, because I know she's still growing, but from 12 to 16 there's a big gap in a person's life, and I think she finds out a bit about who she wants to be, because shame that girlie had to adapt to a lot. Okay, a lot. So the theme here, there were echoes. It kind of like it echoes. There's echoes because something repeated, and it like echoed into Mika's life, and it's like a pulse. I don't know, if you read the story, I'm sure you'll know what I mean. So that's it. Coming of age story. It's a little bit dark as well, So it's not a comforting story, but really, it's so good. I really, it's so good. But anyway, I'm speaking too much on the one story. I need to read more, and then we'll see themes. But coming of age story, that's all that's coming to me right now. I need to process some more. I'll see you soon again. Goodbye. Okay, so Witchling by Mia Haven is the second story. And we follow 21-year-old Briar, who's attending the blood rite for the first time. So she's now a witchling and she wants to go through the rite, become a full witch. This one is a bit bloody, lol. And the blood rite is a trial of some sort. Okay, you got to do a certain thing, and then you got a certain time to do that, and then you got to come back and you got to do a certain other thing. And if you do it successfully, then yay, and if you don't, then oops, sorry for you. It's a little bit of a trial. It's a story about finding your unique strengths, sort of a thing. I like the writing style, and I like the setting. It's a generic setting. It's not local, it's not overseas, it's just a forest. It could be anywhere. What else? Yeah, that's about it. So again, the theme is witches. In this one, it's about you finding your unique strengths and believing in your convictions, and if it sees you through, it sees you through, and if it's not, then it's not. The right choices. So it all worked out in the end. It was a nice story. Yeah, it's pretty cool. So I'm just gonna read the next one. For now, later, bye. I'm about halfway through. I finished now the third story in the anthology called Shooting Star. Absolutely loved all the Indian flavor. Some of the Indian mythology and the references is pretty cool. I loved writing. Sorry about that. I think also the character may be a bit sapphic. Now this story was a fight for the life, for her life. She'd been hunted and she couldn't escape, and the last resort was to fight her way out of it. We don't know if she makes it at the end of the story. She might. It's open-ended enough. But it's lovely. I love how it was written, and it's also just, right in the gut punch kind of a story. As usual, men are hunting the women, and the women have to defend themselves because they were hunters and they were men. The themes, I'm not so sure about themes in this little story because, it's literally a fight for her life. Again, women need to protect themselves from men. Yeah, and sisterhood. I think it's sisterhood because the two witches came to rescue, and she feels now that they are her sisters. So the sisterhood, and it's defending ourselves, men against the women. At least that's what I'm getting through these things. They're not hectic vibes. These themes, they're not hectic themes. They just, that's what I get from them. So if I had to take a theme from the story, that's what I would take. Yeah. So far, I am pleasantly surprised by the stories in here. I'm about to jump into the fourth one. Called something or other, The Shaman and the Witch by Nadia Kassem. So I haven't read anything from Nadia either, although I know I've seen some books and stuff and so on and so forth. So, but it's mostly romance, which I'm not really into. So Anyway, let's get it. Oh, it's just about 6 o'clock, just after 6 p.m. We're going to go into our last little sprint for today at the thing in the readathon, and then we will be reading again until 8 p.m. and then we will take a break until tomorrow. So let's see how far we get. Absolutely loving the 7 Wonders. Go get it. By the way, now's a good time to tell you that if you use my code Luminary4 on the website, which is linked down below, Mirari Press website, you will score a small discount when you shop the Mirari Press website. So get it, get it, get it. Bye. Morning. So it's like just before 8 a.m. on Sunday, the 30th of November, and I finished the other story last night, The Shaman and the Witch by Nadia Kassem. Okay, I know of the author, I just haven't read any of her work because I think it's romance. So yeah. Now, The Shaman and the Witch is a little more subtle than the other three have been. Two friends. Oh, I'm reading the wrong thing. Two friends go to see a shaman. Okay, because they want to get in touch with their previous lives, their past selves. I don't know the girlie's name. Okay, but she and a friend. She and her friend go see the shaman and they do some stuff and and she has a vision about a past in the 1500s, okay? And then it bothers her, so eventually without her friend knowing, she goes back to the shaman and do more rituals to unlock her past, to free herself and Turns out that this girlie has a witch lineage. So it's a story about accepting oneself through accepting your history, finding yourself. They're over 40, so it's not a coming of age story, but it's about, I don't know, taking your power. It's about taking your power and doing what is necessary to be able to take your power. It's about believing in yourself, I suppose. So yeah, it's pretty cool. I love her writing style. I do think I want to read more from Nadia Kassem, but not if it's romance. Not if it's romance. Okay, and yeah. So far, we just have strong female characters. We have people taking back their power, being fully themselves in who they are. So I think that's what the theme is so far. I only have three more stories left to go. So yeah, today is the second day of our read-along, a readathon. I'm also going to have a live session on YouTube because it'll be my first one and I need to set it up and I don't know what I'm doing. So there's that. So we'll see how that goes. I will be reading that finished today, but I will get back to you after the next story. Bye. See you soon. So Unfamiliars is the next story for me, by Francesca Nascimbeni. It is so good. It's told through the eyes of a 12-year-old girl named Lifael. Okay, and it's about stories coming back through the ages about animal spirits and animals speaking to people and everyone getting along in harmony. So this is a story about shapeshifting, but also about a woman claiming who she was meant to be. Absolutely love the disability rep with the poliosis. I don't know if that's correct. So that's pretty cool. The imagery is gorgeous. The writing is simple because it's from a Taviel's perspective, but it is almost mesmerizing in a way. It is really, really good. Guys, I've got 2 more stories left to go. I am so sad. This book is really, really, really good. Okay, well, I'm going to read some more now because I'm in a sprint and I'm stealing time from myself. A spell for healing death. Oh my word, it is such a love story. It's about an elderly gentleman who lost his wife, who was a witch. And they cut off her head and everything, and they buried her, and they put a block of stone with the scripture written on top of her on a crossroad so that she can't wander or continues to wander, blah, 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 blah. And as he's clearing up his stuff, he finds a spell called the spell for healing death. And of course, you know, she was a good witch, so she didn't want any of the death raising stuff. Cool. But anyway, so you put it aside and la la la, and then just by coincidence, things start happening, and he's getting the ingredients for the spell, and so on and so forth. It is absolutely beautiful, so nice, such a good story. Of course, there's a bit of action and persecution and a bit of fisticuffs, but so good. This story is different because it's about a man and not about a woman, even though there's a witch in there. So that's pretty cool. Also, I only have the one more story left. It's so sad. So sad. This book is phenomenal, you guys. Phenomenal. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna read the last one. Lifael. Bye. So I finished the last story, Lifael. This one is also told from a man's perspective, but it's about him saving a king who uses enhanced witches, but would rather be with the witch. I don't know, it's not a love story, but it's kind of like an obsession, maybe. I don't know, but the writing is really, really good. Guys, this book is phenomenal. Okay, as for interacting themes, it's about witches. Okay, it's about standing in your power. It's about claiming your power. It's about being who you are, accepting who you are. And it's about owning your power. All of these stories are about the women and their fight and their strength. So that's what the themes are. Accepting, claiming, using, embracing your power. But I cannot recommend this enough. Highly recommend it. The writing in all of these are spectacular. And I want to get to know more of all of the authors. I've seen a couple of these authors around. I know Nadia Kassim I've seen, but I'm hoping there's something other than romance. Also, so I'm giving, okay, before I jumped again, my favorites. We have the opening one, which was Mud Witch by C.R.N.R. Madewell. Okay, and then I really enjoyed Unfamiliars by Francesco Nascimbeni and A Spell for Healing Death by Luke Wildman. Those are my 3 faves. Those 3 stars each. Those 3 stories each have 5 stars. And this book in a total is 5 stars. I'm not going to take all the different stars and then get the average of the stars and give the book the average. No. In total, this book is 5 stars. Okay. I've been rating the book, the individual stories for myself. So, 5 stars. Highly, highly recommend. Look how pretty it is. I think there are still some limited editions available. To go grab that. And just before I leave you, in the description box down below, you will find a link to the Mirari Press website under, pardon me, with my code Luminary4. And if you use that code when you go buy these books, you can save some money. Okay? You can save a little bit of bucks. Highly recommend to go get it. So, yes. Fantastic, fantabulous. Also, I'm loving that a couple of these stories were sapphic in nature. Definitely the first one. I think there's another one that might have alluded to it stronger than actually confirming it, but it's there. That makes it even more special for moi. So, yeah. Guys, Mirari Press is doing fantastic things with speculative fiction, and you need to grow your thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I'll be getting more soon. Let me know if you ever read this book. Let me know down below. If you have read it, let me know down below what you thought about it. I would absolutely love to know. This book just gave me goosies. So go get it! Bye-bye from Cape Town. Mwah. See you in the next video.